Hello guys and welcome to a brand new video. Today I'm here with Vigilante My Hero Academia Illegals episode number 2 reaction. So the previous episode we meet the new characters in this new I guess you could say spin-off show of My Hero Academia. This happens before My Hero Academia, and here we get to see the characters who were never able to become able to become heroes, and they're like vigilantes basically, like unlicensed heroes. Now, Koichi is one of the characters who has a very basic power of like sliding through the floor. It's not really that fast, so it cannot really be used fighting crime. So he does like good things to people, like helping people find their way, and I don't know, like take and return lost items to people. So people call him, I think, like nice guy or something like that, nice Mr. Nice or something. And we also meet Popstep, who is like an idol, and I'm not really sure what her power is, but I think Koichi said something like it's like leaping or something like that. And obviously Knuckle Duster in the end, who we still don't know what his power is. Right. Anyways, Koichi helps people. He fell into a situation where Popstep was in trouble, and just like Deku in My Hero Academia, he also had that thing inside of his heart to help people. So he moved before he could think and helped her out. But Knuckle Duster is now hounding Koichi and telling him to help him find this new type of a drug, I think, that is being used to make people go berserk and everything. And Knuckle Duster's way of finding that out is a bit weird. He tries to punch people and threaten them. So in the end, while trying to do that, Eraserhead caught him. So now we are in a little bit of trouble. So let's see what happens. Let us begin. I'll be putting the subtitles and the timer here. Sync it to whichever is a preference, and let's get started. Okay, here's the countdown. 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, here we go. Oh, I guess most people don't know much about him, especially at this time. Maybe. Oh no, are they friends or something? No, never mind. They're actually fighting. I thought they were gonna hug or something. Oh damn! I don't think he's using any quirk. He doesn't have any quirk. I get that feeling. I said this in the first episode as well. Yep, he doesn't have any quirk. This is just his physical strength. Quirkless. Right. Like in the very first episode, I was thinking, they kind of showed Popstep's quirk, they kind of showed Koichi's quirk. They didn't do anything to Knuckle Duster, so I was thinking maybe he's quirkless. Right. That will surprise me. Vigilante. Self-appointed doer of justice. Wait, they're still fighting? It's nighttime. It's evening. Oh. Oh my god, maybe you got the correct person. Oh my god. Yeah, he is the one. Hey, we actually got the correct person. Well, yeah, you tell him to stop. Oh, great. Here we go. These three. We saw them. Um, I think you guys have something else to deal with now. So, you know. Yep. But he's trying to punch people. I think that's. I guess that's more for the police to deal with. Like, dry eye. Oh. Yeah, he doesn't have any quirk. Yep. Yes. Aizawa, there's some. Oh, I guess he. Oh, here we go. Thank you. Oh my god. Oh boy. It's like a porcupine. Oh my god. Do you guys understand? You guys are actually villains now. A brick smash. Hey, where's the other one? Flying about? He was gonna. Oh yeah. Where's the flying one? Thank you, Aizawa. Well, your quirk won't work now. Oh my god. Right. Oh, there's the. Oh, well, is it in there? Like the. Oh god. Yeah. Well, yeah. I was gonna say it's something great. Imagine. Good God. Hey, what in the hell? Jump! Oh my god. Yeah, you are going to get squashed. Good God, he became a. Right. Hello? Playtime quirk? What the hell? Yeah, okay. I see. Oh god. I Oh, he's tripping. Jump. God damn, this is just crazy. Jump. But I guess she cannot find the. Yeah. Yes. Okay. Yeah, so he can go on walls as well, which is quite good. Yeah, but it still helps people. Yeah, okay, nice. Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah. Can he like slide through like a snake, you know? Oh, okay. Oh, so he used the okay. Move. Okay, nice. Thank you. Yeah. He's become small again. Yep, because that was his quirk. Enough playtime. Yes. Right. Ugh. Mm. Mm. Yeah. Yeah. As I was saying. And that is also true. Yeah. Nah, but it's safe. You don't have enough training. Oh. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, he has been doing that multiple times. Yeah. Well, that's literally how Knuckle Duster is. A little bit pushy. Good God. What's the hell, Jotaro? Hey! Yeah, they're like, I guess, like delinquents. Middle school? They're middle schoolers? Good lord. Okay, yeah, that'll help. Yes. Oh, I was gonna say, like a trash heap. Conveniently. Are you okay? Yeah? Um, oh no. Okay, stop that. That is so cringe. Crawler. Okay, you know what? That's a good name. But stop those hand signs. Bruh. Well, his popularity. Alright. It doesn't hurt. Yep. You know what? At least they stopped fighting. Hey yo. What the hell? Oh, Knuckle Duster's here. Damn. Yeah. Well, sometimes. Good God. Hmm. Bruh. I give them likes. Wow. Oh. Oh God. Oh my God. This is real trouble. Who the? Who is this guy? Oh my God. Oi! What the? Oh, oh nice. Okay. Yes. Oh no, it's not gonna work. He's strong. He's hard. Oh, he's using the. Yep. Yeah. Volunteer. Normies. Oh. Okay. It. I guess it still hurt, but. Okay. Nice. Damn. Yeah. Oh, damn. Well, yeah, it's just, exactly. Yep. Yeah. 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 You guys have your tongue okay, right? Yeah. Run! Let's run! Bruh. Mysterious new heroes, right? Hmm. Oh, damn. Yeah, because these are like ordinary people, like taking in drugs and stuff. There you go. Idiot Trigger. That's the true full name. Well, um, he's not a hero, so vigilantes. Yep. Yeah, but this is like a very thin line. I was going to talk. I'll talk about this later. Yeah. Right. No, I don't think there is any. Cruel. Cruel. Cruelest. Yeah. Dude was totally unhinged. Yo. Hmm. Okay. And there you go. That was episode number 2 of My Hero Academia Vigilantes. Now, today's episode, we go a little bit deeper into the whole drug situation, the trigger, and take out a few other villains, and yeah, do our jobs as vigilantes, kind of. But obviously, you could say uh, like them being there also helped a lot of the like a lot of things from going a little bit bad. For example, that little kid would probably, if they weren't there, the little kid probably would have been in very much danger. The kid in the little baby. Also, like Koichi has, saved Pop Step from breaking her neck. It probably wouldn't be just breaking her neck. She probably would have died instantly. So like from that height, and yeah, Koichi helped her out with that. And we get to meet Eraserhead a little bit, and all these things happen. So yeah, overall, it was, I guess you could say, a good day's work for the vigilantes, and we don't have many more. We don't have much more clue about the whole trigger situation, but I guess we'll keep fighting villains until we come to a bottom of it. But yeah, a few things to discuss today. First and foremost, one thing I wanted to discuss here is that the thin line that Koichi, Knuckle Duster, Pop Step, not really Pop Step because she is helping us out, so you could kind of put her in the same category as well as us. So it's a thin line. This whole vigilante thing is a thin line because unless and until you know who you are, like, and you know what you should be doing and what you shouldn't be doing, this thing can be very dangerous. Why I'm saying it can be very dangerous? Because a lot of people can start as being these like vigilante heroes because of a high sense of justice, and they might be like because in that sense anyone can be a hero, like if they're doing stuff like this. But the thing is, if you misuse your quirk in these type of situations by letting the power get to your head, then you'll turn a villain. you know like you won't be a vigilante anymore. You'll literally be taking the law in your hand, and that is what that detective was talking about. Like, whatever you say, you are taking the law in your hand, which is not okay. So that's what I said by thin line. Like, you might say, like, oh, why, like, these people are helping out people, it's good. But like I said, we know, like, Koichi is this type of a person, so I don't think he's ever going to fall into that side, where he's going to let the power get to his head. But I'm not talking about Koichi or the current group. Let's just take some other group who has like some kind of a quirk which is not really officially accepted, but they're like helping people out like this, fighting crimes in the background. So a time might come when, if they like succeed multiple times, a time might come that success might go to their head, and they actually try to take the law in their hands, and like, that will be bad. And that's why I'm saying it's a very thin line you're treading. Like, you're literally in the border of being a hero and a villain. So you can fall on either side. If you fall on the hero side, then you still remain a good person. You'll not let the power get to your head. Everything will be fine. But if you fall on the villain side, it's over. You will literally be like reaching a stage when you'll be fighting the same people, when you become the same person that you're fighting, like, literally villains. So, and like, I feel like it's like a very like common thing that happens, like, when you like do something like this, you can fall to either side. So that's the thing, and that's the problem here as vigilantes. So yeah, anyways, right now, a few other things to discuss. First and foremost, I knew that Knuckle Duster was quirkless. In the previous episode, I literally said there's a possibility he's quirkless, and that was confirmed here. Aizawa said that his eraser quirk doesn't work on him because he doesn't have any quirk. He's just strong, and yeah, there you go. Now, that's that. We also had that incident with that salaryman guy just taking the trigger and just becoming this big person. Now, I feel like, like, from seeing, like, observing his behaviors, he's probably just some ordinary person who liked playing with toys, and I'm assuming people probably made fun of him or something like that. Because as you can see, as he becomes this gigantified version of him, his quirk's name is Playtime, and he was like playing with the toys, so, and just like smashing everything and everything. So I think it was something like that. I'm not 100% sure. There's a possibility that he just, I don't know, he just liked playing with toys and people probably demeaned him for it, and he became like, this type of a repressed person who just went crazy and just started like, taking drugs. And yeah, I don't know, that's just a guess, but it wouldn't surprise me if it was something like that, because most of the time these type of situations come from something like that, some type of an origin backstory like this, like, yeah. So, anyways, right, that was that. Then we also took out those guys we saw in the previous episode. Those guys who took the trigger and became these villains, and we took them out, all of them, and we also took out the Titan guy. You know, or you could say we stopped him. Aizawa came and like helped us completely suppress him. Koichi saved Pop Steph from falling flat on her head, and like potentially saving her life. And then we are all working together now to find out this trigger thing. What it is, where it is from, who are using them. And in the end, we meet these two high school, no, sorry, not high schoolers, middle schoolers fighting, and this is where Koichi makes his new name, which is a Crawler. But these guys are like just calling him Crueler or something like that. And yeah, right. Oh, and in the ending section as well, like, like Koichi goes and saves that little baby, and Knuckle Duster was able to neutralize the hero, the villain who was going crazy. So I was thinking how he's going to defeat him, because obviously this thing is strong. He's like hard and everything. He has like literally like crystals like growing on him. So when Knuckle Duster punched him, you could see that it didn't work. So I was like, how is he going to do this? So he was like, if punching doesn't work, I'm just going to use my technique on him. So he used proper martial arts to throw him to the ground, like make his hardening kind of go down, and then started punching him. So it worked out like that. Right. Now another thing we saw here, I think like it was pretty obvious, but like Koichi can slide on walls as well. So like all he needs is a surface and 3 points of contact, and he can just slide around. So like it'll be interesting to see how he like uses it, like, because today we saw he came in contact with that big Titan, like villain kind of guy, and he used his work to just boost himself back and fall on the trash heap. So that's how he saved himself from falling flat, or getting squashed completely. So yeah, that's a good way of using his quirk, and I can see later on he might use, like, I was thinking what he was going to do is like when he came in contact with that big guy, the big villain, I thought he was just going to slide like a snake and like like just move up his body. I thought that's what he was going to do, but he didn't do that. But he just like, yeah. Anyways, I'm sure he, as he goes more and more and helps people out, he'll probably find his own way of fighting. Right. In the end, we do get to see that people are taking note of them, these new vigilantes, but people have gotten his name very wrong. Like, these guys called him the Crueler, and people are calling him that now. Right. Anyways, oh, and then in the end, we also get to see the detective who was like, they shouldn't take law in their hands. And you know what? Like I said, I agree with him. Like, it's just that like a lot of people who starts doing stuff like this, they can actually let the power go to their head, and they can easily become villains like that. So like, the detective is not wrong. So yeah, but obviously, let's wait and see what happens. And I don't think Koichi is ever going to fall into that side. Hopefully, like, let the power go to his head. He's the last person I ever imagine of doing something like that. Because you've seen how much humble he is. Like, right. Knuckle Duster, I don't think he's also going to fall, like, in that, like, thing, because from the looks of it, Knuckle Duster has been doing this whole vigilante thing for a long time. So if he still hasn't fallen for that side, I doubt he's ever going to. Also, he's quirkless. So even if he becomes a villain, like, what is he going to do? Just punch people, I guess. Like, yeah, like, he's pretty damn strong, but I feel like even if he falls on the, like, the other side, the dark side, we can stop him, or like at least, like, if the, yeah, like, but I don't know, like, like, for anything that is regarding quirks can evolve in weird ways. So for quirks, at least I have no idea. But for Knuckle Duster, I think it's fine. Like, like, and like, in looking at him, he doesn't seem like the type of person who would ever, like, yeah, he's very brash, he's very, like, impulsive, you could say. Like, he just punches people whenever he sees them, but he doesn't seem like the type of person who would let power go to his head. That's probably the last thing he would do, like, looking at him. Yeah. And Pop Step, I don't think either. Like, Pop Step is going to be, yeah. So these three, I feel like, are very safe in that regard. Like, they're never going to let power go to their head. Or, I don't know, I might be proven wrong. Who knows? Like, there is a possibility in the future we get an arc where Koichi just goes crazy and starts taking law in his hand. I don't know. I haven't read the manga. I have no idea how this is going to proceed. But initial impressions, these three, I don't think these three are, or at least this is what I think, that, like, I don't think ever they'll fall for that, like, that trope of, like, letting power go to their head. Yeah. Anyways, and there you go. That was today's episode. That was my overall impressions of today. Um, right, good episode. Let's see how this proceeds, how we um take care of the whole trigger situation. And like, and as they call them, these are like instantaneous villains, because they're just like ordinary people who has quirks, obviously, but using the drug, like, makes them villains. So it's very difficult, because these guys have no past records, or maximum of them have no past records, so they just appear suddenly. Like, at least for villains, like, like, if there's some villain on and about, you could probably, like, kind of guess, like, this might happen or this might happen, so you might actually be on your guard. But if it's just like some random citizen, like, on about his way, and suddenly he takes a drug and becomes this villain, it's difficult to keep track of it. And that's why, like, the heroes are taking so long to come, because they have no idea, like, suddenly happening it is. And that is why we have our vigilantes here, who's patrolling the streets, like, keeping an eye out and actively tracking down the drug. So yeah, I do wonder if we'll meet other vigilante groups, or is this whole show just going to be these three, or maybe other people will join us. I do wonder that. So yeah, because I'm sure, like, just like these three, I'm sure somewhere in this place there's another group of people who thinks the same, and they might actually do the same as well. Also, you might say that since these three are kind of getting popular in a weird way, you could say, because yeah, because in the end, like, from in social media, you saw everyone was talking about them. I do wonder, seeing them and seeing how they're fighting crime, even though they are not heroes, some other people also might follow suit. And this is where the trouble will begin. If everyone, like, with a little bit higher sense of justice, tries to become a hero like this, that, I think that'll be pretty bad. That actually won't be good. Like, everyone will start taking law in their hand. And like I said, like, it's different for different people. Different people might fall for the, like, like, the power might actually get to their head, or, like, the whatever, like, the fact that they're doing this might get to their head, and they try to take law in their hands. I don't think it's ever going to happen to Koichi's group, but if other people start taking notice of Koichi and his group and try to emulate them, imitate them, and they might fall on the, like, they might fall for the whole letting power get to the head kind of thing. So that might happen, anyways. I feel like those are, if stuff like this are going to happen, that happen way later in the story, not now we have to deal with the whole trigger thing. So let's see. And there you go, that was today's episode. my overall impressions on it. Now, let me talk about this episode scene by scene. In the very first scene, we get to see. We resume from the left off portion where Aizawa came and stopped Knuckle Duster, and Aizawa thought that he's a villain or something, like using his quirk, which makes sense because he's like strong. He's like just so he thought like his power was like strengthening himself or something. Right. Anyway, so Knuckle Duster and Aizawa like facing off. Coach is pretty like scared because he's like this guy's fighting with an actual hero. Good God. While we have the salaryman like trying to like run away, as you can see. So like Popstep quickly uses her phone to check the pictures of the incidents where these trigger situation has happened, and this guy's always there. So they're like, that guy's suspicious, let's follow him. So they go and start following him, while we have Knuckle Duster and Aizawa facing off against each other. In the end, Aizawa's like, you know what, I'm sorry, like you are not really misusing your quirk, you don't even have a quirk, so there's no way you can misuse your quirk. So yeah, I'm sorry for trying to attack you. And he just leaves. Obviously, like he's like, yeah, he's not a villain, or he's not misusing his quirk, so like I have nothing else to do here. But I should still inform the police because he's actually trying to beat people up, so that's not okay. Anyways, while all of this was going on, we meet these three like guys we saw in the previous episode who took the trigger and became these whole ass villains. Like I'm like, just imagine, like these three just became villains, and now they have a whole like like a crime like they committed, and they'll be in jail for obviously for a good amount of time, I'm assuming. What the hell was the point of all that? You literally ruined your life for some nonsense, like for just, yeah, like absolutely ridiculous. Anyways, so yeah, these three are like now here, they're like just trying to mess with Koichi, you could see, but when Knuckle Duster comes and just punches them and stops them, Aizawa comes and stops them as well. It was pretty easy to suppress these two. But then we have the lizard guy, who was following Popstep, and Popstep was following the other guy, the salaryman guy. And the salaryman guy then takes the trigger. Turns out his dolls, like the toys, were actually a syringe, and he becomes this gigantic four-armed character. And yeah, so then Knuckle Duster comes in, tries to stop him, but Knuckle Duster gets punched. He's very big, he's very strong, so Knuckle Duster gets punched into the ground. Popstep tries to kind of escape because she got grabbed by the guy, but like when he was slipping and falling, Popstep like jumps out, but then she loses her grip. She couldn't properly maneuver, and she's falling, so there's nothing to take step on, so she cannot jump. So Koichi goes and tries to save her. Obviously, he knows he cannot really do anything normally, so he uses his quirk, goes up the wall and jumps from the wall, and gives her like a platform to step on, and then pushes her so that she can jump back into like a building. But then Koichi himself couldn't do much. He fell into no, he was falling, and the giant guy was going to squash him. So he used his quirk on the hand and repelled himself, I think. Yeah, using that force field that he uses. He kind of swerved to the right and fell on the trash heap. So right. Anyways, I don't know. I thought he was going to like just slide up his hand or something. That would be pretty funny, like a snake. But yeah, I guess he couldn't really do that in that little amount of time. He just swerved himself. Anyways, thankfully Aizawa came immediately and used his quirk eraser to stop his gigantification. So he just became a normal person. Obviously, he got arrested. Then Aizawa kind of warns Knuckle Duster that that yeah, you guys you aren't really committing any crimes, but at the same time like don't go beating people up or anything. But he's like, oh no, like we are just vigilantes, we just try to stop any type of crime like this happening where you guys cannot come in time. And yeah, and like I said, it makes sense because as this is not like a normal situation. Civilians are taking this drug and becoming these villains. So it's like an instantaneous situation where heroes cannot come in time, and a lot of bad things might happen between that time. For example, as you saw later on down the road, that baby was like almost going to get, yeah. So there was no heroes there. Nobody could save him there. That would have ended bad if Koichi wasn't there. So these type of things they do. Anyways, but at the same time they are taking law in their hands, so that is kind of. But yeah, but as I was like, just yeah, like stay out of trouble. Um, Anyways, after that, Koichi and Popstep are talking. Popstep was going to thank him, but then Koichi starts talking about how he's not good enough or something, how he couldn't do much, and Popstep is like, "Stop it!" Like I was going to thank you, and you're just doing this nonsense. Right. Anyways, then Knuckle Duster comes in, and Knuckle Duster is like, you know what, you what your problem was, that you like obviously he was doing his thing with his quirk, but there was a lot of thing that he lacks in, which Knuckle Duster says, I'm going to teach you. And and yeah, you could say even the Koichi was like, oh, I'm not going to be like go along with your antics. He still was like, but you were almost calling me master 2 times, so like about time, come with me. I'll train you. I'll train you properly. So yeah, later on, next day, you could see, yeah, like Knuckle Duster gave him a few things. For example, the body armor, and everything. So now even if he gets smacked into the face, like yeah, obviously he'll get hurt, but he'll probably not get as hurt as he would have. you know that's why. Now you can see Popstep is acting more like a scout, you could say. She's like just scanning the streets and seeing, because obviously his quirk makes it easier for her to just move about. So she's like looking at the streets, seeing if there's some craziness going on, and she finds these two middle schoolers just fighting each other. So informs Koichi and Knuckle Duster. Koichi comes in, swerving around, and and he's like, he has a new name. Obviously, you cannot call him Mr. Nice Guy or something. Villains will underestimate you. So he's like, I have a new name, and he introduces himself. He's like, my name is the Crawler, and they're like, oh, you're Mr. Nice Guy. And he's like, no, that's not my name. I'm the Crawler. Yeah, my god. Anyways, then later on they get pissed off about it, like him just saying random stuff. So they start beating Koichi up. Knuckle Duster comes in and tries to beat them up. So Koichi's like, stop, don't just unnecessarily harass people. And then in the end, Popstep is like, you know what, it's my time. So she comes down, and these two are apparently fans of her. So she's like, oh, here you go, autograph. And they just stop fighting. That's it. That's all that was needed. Right. Anyways, but the real trouble starts here. Like, these guys weren't really the trouble. The trouble was this other random guy who became this big, like, crystal villain. And this is where the real trouble starts. A lady, like, almost falls down, and the baby on the pram almost, like, just goes out. So Koichi goes and saves the baby. Then Knuckle Duster comes and starts punching the guy, but the guy's too damn strong. He's hard. So Knuckle Duster's like, you know what? Come on, let's tag team this guy. So Koichi also comes in, and Knuckle Duster also comes in. They realize that he's a drug user because his tongue is like purple. And then, like, I think Koichi like distracts him, right? Just a minute. Yeah, Koichi kind of distracts him by going towards him, and he gets kicked in the stomach, but he has the armor, so it didn't really hurt that much. But taking that opportunity, Knuckle Duster comes and uses like his technique on him, martial arts, threw him to the ground, and then punched him, because then his quirk kind of reduced a little bit, I guess. Anyways, we stopped him. We punched him so much that he just reverted back, I guess. But his face is too damn swollen, so we couldn't even recognize him. Took some pictures, and there you go. That's it. Job well done for today. The lady with the babies thanked us for helping out. And then Popstep tells the other two, the middle schoolers, she tells them that, oh, these guys are taking drugs, be sure not to do that. And like, yeah, there you go. And they go away. Koichi multiple times tell them that, oh, I'm the crawler, and that is Knuckle Duster. But yeah, it doesn't work because next time we see what happened in social media. Anyways, before that, we have this detective, the police force here, and this detective, he is like, oh, which hero was assigned here? Like, beat him up very badly. Like, his hero license will probably like get revoked or something because of this. But they're like, oh, there's no hero supposed to be here. And then they realize, like, he comes to the, understand, he gets to know that apparently some vigilantes are doing this, and he's like, that shouldn't be, like, that shouldn't be allowed. Like, obviously they did make our job easy, but nobody should take law in their own hands. And now they have the police has the eye on the vigilantes. Right. Anyways, after that, next day we see on social media people are calling them freaky faced grandpa and the crueler. So yeah, there you go. That, that's what happened. Anyways, it's just the beginning of the vigilante, activities. So more crazy stuff will happen. We'll have to wait and see. So that is it. That was my reaction to episode number 2 of Vigilante My Hero Academia Legals. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to press the like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel, or you haven't subscribed. Comment down below anything you want to say, anything you want to let me know. I'll check them out. That is it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next week with another episode of My Hero Academia Vigilantes. Until then, goodbye and have a nice day.